What's up, everybody? Monster Master Godzilla here. Welcome back to the Godzilla-Thon. Now I'm here to wrap this up. Today we're about to be reviewing Godzilla Minus One. Now, if you're a hardcore Godzilla fan or casual moviegoer and you haven't seen it, I say stay away from this video because there will be major spoilers ahead. So I'm just giving you the heads up. You've been warned. Alright, so what I will say that this movie, wow, just wow. I was blown away by this Godzilla movie. This one's different from other Godzilla movies I've seen. It's set during like the age. It was set like during 1947. Like 2 years after World War II, before the events of 1954, hence the title, Godzilla Minus One. It started off in World War II, during the final days of World War II in 1945. And then when the main characters were on Odo Island, where Godzilla was first seen, and then one night, they got attacked by a dinosaur-like monster called Godzilla. And Godzilla's not like gigantic, but he's almost like, he's still big, but not like, he's more of like King Kong size big from the original King Kong. Like, it's just not gigantic like 2014 or 2016 from Shin Godzilla. This time they made Godzilla scary in this movie. They actually made Godzilla scary again. Like, that's how Godzilla truly was, meant to be the symbol of nuclear destruction. The symbol of nuclear destruction. The 2014 to 2021 design has a scary look, but not necessarily scary like a villain. Because that one acts more of the hero. That one acts more heroic than a villain. This one is like a villain, back to its 1954 roots, where Godzilla's the bad guy in this one. But then, when Godzilla made the first attack, only two of the members of the World War II crew had survived, and most have died. The main character has a redemption arc. He was full of survivor's guilt. And then it was like during the final days of World War II. And then the United States had bombed Japan. The United States had bombed Japan in later on. Had later bombed Japan. And of course, then the main setting is in 1947. And then the main character ends up having a redemption arc. Meets up with his parents have died. And then finds a girl. And ends up having a girlfriend whose parents also died. And they found a baby girl, whose parents died, and the baby was an orphan, and they decided to adopt and raise the baby as their own. And that's when they eventually started a family. And originally the main character was reluctant on that because how he's been through war and had a survivor's guilt. And he had a redeeming arc, and saying that his war was not over. The war is not over to him. And then Godzilla, then it turns out, after the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki on Odo Island, Godzilla then was hit with the radiation. It mutated him and it made him larger than he already is. And this one, they made him more powerful than he already is, and gave him the ability to shoot his trademark atomic breath. And then there was moments where Godzilla gets attacks people on the ocean, especially when his dorsal fins stick out. Like there was a moment when the characters got attacked by Godzilla on the boat. It kind of reminds me of a scene out of Jaws, where they had a mine in Godzilla's mouth, and they shoot the mine and it explodes, injured Godzilla, and that's when they discovered Godzilla can regenerate. So then they had to figure out how to defeat Godzilla while he's in the process of regenerating. So the storyline, the characters are actually human characters are actually really relatable and likable. The storyline is really good. Especially, I told you, it's really different. You should definitely give it a look. So, the storyline is really good. It has a dark, depressing tone to the story. It's definitely not a happy movie. Especially Godzilla going around to storming around on the rampage when Japan was war had got done with World War II. So then, after Godzilla was attacking the city, when Godzilla what's different is that remember how in Shin Godzilla, where Godzilla gets to shoot atomic beams out of his dorsal fins and his tail? Well, this time Godzilla in this movie, they gave him, whenever he shoots his trademark atomic breath, his dorsal fins stick out like cocking a gun, and then when he fires his atomic breath, it causes a big explosion when he shoots the atomic breath. Which, my God, that was pretty awesome. Like, the effects are really amazing. Godzilla's design looks awesome. He even got a lot of detail in his eyes. And the dorsal fins are amazing too, along with his ability to retract his dorsal, where his dorsal fins are retractable when he shoots his atomic breath. And it's quite awesome. I truly dig this Godzilla. Like, probably one of the scariest Godzillas I've seen to this very day. This, I gotta say, is my new favorite Godzilla movie. This one's a good one. I mean, it's not going to replace stuff like 1984, which 1984 and the rest of the Heisei series have a lot of nostalgia for me. Same with the Millennium series. So, this Godzilla. So then the main character thought he lost his girlfriend to the Godzilla throughout most of the movie. After Godzilla made the explosion by shooting his atomic breath on the city. So the human characters had to set a trap for Godzilla. And then they had a bomb that would go inside Godzilla's mouth by destroying him inside to defeat him. So it worked at first. When they made it seem like Godzilla was destroyed. After that. But knowing Godzilla, I knew that was going to happen. They're not getting rid of him that easily. So here's the thing: what I found after the main character, after he went through a war, made an amends with his old friend, then learned what it's like to have a family again, learned how to love and how to be a father to his adopted daughter, and finds his girlfriend, and then he found out his girlfriend survived It turns out the girlfriend had a radiation sickness, and a marking on her neck was seen that as like shape of Godzilla's dorsal fin, one of Godzilla's dorsal fins. So the main character went through war, had survivor's guilt after losing his parents. During the war. So the main character went through war, lost his parents during the war, went through survivor's guilt, then made an amends with his old friend from the war. He also learned how to be a father, and learned how to love again, as he found love with his girlfriend, and then learned how to be a father with his adopted daughter. And then after he finds that his girlfriend survived the Godzilla attacks, that's when his character finally got redeemed. He also went through a lot of nightmares from his past, and realizing he can't escape his past. So the main character is awesome. I really love the main character. The main human character is awesome. I can definitely understand where he's coming from, and he's like this time like my new favorite human character, I'll say. And so the main hero of the film, he got to destroy Godzilla by making him explode. And Godzilla's body remains had sunk to the bottom of the sea. So, and it ends where Godzilla's flesh was sunk down to the bottom of the ocean. But it turns out, little did the human characters think that Godzilla, as skin has ended up regenerating. So, as a hardcore Godzilla fan, I knew they're not getting rid of Godzilla that easily. So they found out Godzilla survived. So at the end they made it depict that Godzilla survives. I figured that because it's set in 1947 and the first Godzilla was destroyed in 1954. So I figured they're not getting rid of Godzilla that easily. Because knowing Godzilla, he doesn't go down very easily. At all. It has to take a lot more than a simple weapon to take him down. So that's the whole movie. Overall, this is my new favorite Godzilla movie. The storyline is awesome. The setting is really different. The idea of a Godzilla movie set in 2 years after World War II, even set before 1954, was genius work. Like even the trailers showed that they count down all the Godzilla movies from Toho backwards. And that's the reason why they titled it as Godzilla -1. So, it's definitely one I truly recommend. If you're a hardcore Godzilla fan or a casual moviegoer, this is something I would recommend for the true hardcore Godzilla fans. So, that's it for the Godzilla-Thon. And next year, folks, I will be reviewing Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. But for now, this is the end of the Godzilla-Thon. So now, for those which Godzilla movies I would recommend, the Godzilla movies I would recommend are 1954, the classic original, Godzilla King Kong vs. Godzilla, Godzilla 1984, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah from 1991, the Godzilla 2000 from 1999, but in US is 2000, Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, giant monsters all at attack. Then there's Godzilla 2014, Godzilla King of the Monsters from 2019, and Godzilla vs. Kong from 2021. And there's Godzilla Final Wars. Along with the and that's pretty much all that I got from my ones that I truly recommend. And so, bottom line, I recommend giving this one a look. Go see it while it's still in the theaters. Go see it while it's still in the theaters. I mean, in Japan it was released in November 3rd, Godzilla's birthday. And now and they released it on December 1st for US theaters. So right now, I just saw it over the weekend. So for hardcore Godzilla fans, go see it while it's still in the theaters, because eventually it's not going to be in the theaters much longer after a while. And it's definitely one I truly recommend you go check it a look. It's definitely different from other Godzilla movies you will ever see in your entire life. And it's such a great flick. Godzilla's design is awesome. The effects are amazing. The storyline is genius. And the human characters are awesome, especially the main character himself. And so overall, this Godzilla movie's actually got a certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. It's definitely, it's a fun, enjoyable film. As when it was released in the theaters for US, they respectively released in its native language with English subtitles, which I'm pretty sure once it's released in Japan, they would have an English dub setting. So, this is one I truly recommend you give it a look while it's still in the theaters. And this, I truly recommend it. I won't steer you wrong. It's a great flick, especially if you're a fan of the classic original 1954 film, or any Godzilla movie in general. And that's all I have to say, folks. And as always, stay awesome, my Godzilla fans. And stay tuned for next year that I will review Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. Plus, 2024, next year will be Godzilla's 70th anniversary. And that's all I have to say, folks. And as always, stay awesome, my fellow Godzilla fans. And I hope you enjoyed the Godzilla-Thon while it lasted through this long journey of Godzilla movies. And that's it for today. And I'll see you in the next Godzilla review. Bye!